Welcome to Pro Se Legal School. I'm Coach Neighbors, and in today's video, I'm going to kind of walk you guys through the journey that my foster kid is having. He placed his marriage dissolution in the public record about 3 months ago, and he has a stamped copy of it. And then maybe last week or sometime, he got email from the judge's assistant, Miss Hunt, letting my foster kid's name's Rodney. So Mr. Coble received the email the night before he was supposed to have a status conference hearing on divorce proceedings that his ex, Kristen Hayes, filed. And she cheated on him. And, in the contractual agreement, once you cheat and break the contract, it's a wrap. The marriage is over. But the government set up all these hoops that you got to jump through and all. And so, that's fine. So we did the marriage dissolution, where you just fill out the paperwork with the required information on it. And you go down, you pay your $10 or $15 or whatever to have it placed on the public record. And originally I put this thing together for one of my sons several years back. And he went down the next day and pulled it up and looked on the computer, and it showed that his marriage dissolution was placed in the public record right next to the marriage license that you didn't need to have. You didn't need to have a marriage license. They don't tell you all of these things. Marriage license came into play many years ago when it was illegal for interracial couples to get married. And then, the corporate thing came along, and then they connected to the church and made it all this to do. And all the time that it was making to do, the corporate, was, taking over. And so you didn't need to file a divorce. All you needed to do was have the parties, parties don't even have to agree. If someone violates the contract, then you just need to get that thing, place it in the public record, and that should be it. But it was. But the cheating ex went out and hired an attorney, Mr. Joshua Matthews, to harass Ronnie. I'm just going to call him Ronnie because I have a hard time calling him. He's part of my family. I have a hard time calling him by his last name. I'm going to call him Rodney. So she hired an attorney to harass Ronnie, but she probably didn't tell the attorney that she went over to one of Rodney's properties and stole all of his half a side of beef that I split the other half with him. We split a half a side of beef, and she stole his half a side of beef. She probably didn't tell y'all about that. But anyway, she's a piece of work. So she hired Mr. Matthews to I don't know what she hired him to do. Okay, because Ronnie's never been served. He's never been served, and they sent him an email telling him he had a hearing. So I sent them a counterclaim. A divorce proceeding is just it's a civil matter, and it doesn't have to be handled with turning over your banking statements and your assets and all of your retirement fund stuff. No, it don't have to go that way. I don't think. You can file a counterclaim right in it. Like Ronnie did, he filed a counterclaim for $5.5 million, and he added the state, he added the divorce judge, and the attorney that got hired. And now the reason we did this, because Ronnie already dissolved the marriage 3 months ago by placing that document that he bought on my website, winningcourtnow.com. And so that was a wrap. But the attorney has some other ideas. So we're going to look up Mr. Joshua Matthews here and just kind of take a look at his situation and see what he does. Okay, so Mr. Joshua Matthews, Matthews Group LLC. So Mr. Joshua Matthews is just ignoring our marriage dissolution that's placed in the public record. Now, I'm thinking if the city employees that work in the court, the clerk, that's who does this, I think, I don't know. Whatever city employee does this, I would think that they wouldn't do it unless it contained all the legal requirements. I would think. I mean, I'm just going to assume, I know it had the legal requirements, but I'm going to assume that the city, is the reason why they placed it on the public record as we suggested. Now, here's Mr. Matthews' law group. Boy, big fancy website. So this is his number, no cost consultation. He does family law, business law, bankruptcy, criminal defense. Boy, he can do it all. And then there's a little bit of information about him. So, family law, that's really, family law. Let's click on that and see what that says. Oh, so he does divorce, military divorce, business interest, property division, child custody, child support, alimony, paternity, grandparents' rights, adoptions, domestic violence, legal separation, termination of parents, and annulment. Okay, yeah, here we go. This is what we need. So this is Mr. Joshua Matthews' profile. And he's the founder of Matthews Law. And he's trained in a lot of stuff. Areas of practice, foreclosure and alternatives, bankruptcy, consumer protection, civil rights, constitutional law. Oh, he should understand the paperwork that we filed. Discrimination law, DUIs, traffic. Oh, let's scroll down here. Child support, custody, divorce, probate, tax increments, tax law, modification, paternity, dissolutions. Oh, wait. Mr. Joshua Matthews does dissolution. Why did he put his dissolution way down here instead of up here on top of the divorce? I'm sure most people would rather do dissolution than have to go through the divorce proceeding. I know, they're going to tell you, you got to go get an attorney. No, you can log on to the state court website and you can pull up the forms, for dissolution and fill it out yourself. As a matter of fact, while you're looking at the forms, you'll see that all of the forms that have to do with all of this stuff are all on the website. So the attorney, I don't know, Mr. Matthews, you can come to my live stream this weekend and correct me if I'm wrong here. But I'm thinking that the attorney ain't filing a damn thing. They're just going to fill out those forms for you and take over to the court. So the attorney does dissolution, but they're trying to ignore the one that Rodney placed on the public record. Oh, well, okay, so the question is why? So what's the difference? Why is the dissolution that Rodney placed in the public record not recognized by these RICO thieves? I mean, by these people that are trying to steal money out of your bank account or whatever for all this unnecessary shit that doesn't need to go down. Why? Oh, okay. So they had a hearing yesterday, and I just kind of stood in the background over there at his work and listened on the phone. Yeah, they set you up for the second Zoom hearing after they shut down the first one when they admitted that the respondent hadn't been served. Well, he's not the respondent because he already dissolved the marriage. So right now, he's a civil rights person that's getting screwed. That's kind of how I see it. So he decided to just go, they had another hearing. And so let's back up a sec. Before the first hearing, we filed a $5.5 million counterclaim against all of the players, the state, the judge, the Lion X, and the Lion X's Lion attorney. Okay, we filed a counterclaim against them. You can file a a divorce proceeding is just a civil hearing to screw you over without being connected to the Constitution or any laws or anything. I'm just saying. So you can file a counterclaim. And in your counterclaim, if you address the fact that they're dragging your ass into an administrative court, that's not connected to the Constitution. It's not connected to any laws. It's not connected to anything except the local rules. And the local rules are the rules that these players come up with to run each corporate location, operation location. So, in my opinion, pretty much the local rules are put together to hurry up and get your ass through the program so they can get as many people as possible. So the attorney does a dissolution, but mine. So the attorney said, and I almost started out laughing. The attorney said in a hearing that the dissolution that Ronnie filed was worthless because it didn't have a judge's signature. The marriage license don't have a judge's signature. The marriage license, that's what started all this. Well, like we said at the top of the program, the license ain't required for anybody to get married. That shit was years ago for, yeah. So, if you're in an administrative hearing and you don't want to be, you can refuse to contract with these fools, and that's what he did. Trumped their ass with, your counterclaim. And then we also had a demand to strike. So we filed a demand to strike the hearing yesterday too, but the judge, or day before yesterday anyway. But, the judge wants to ignore all that stuff. And then we'll get to the judge's part after a while. We still kind of on the attorney's ass right now, so we just want to finish this up. And so the attorney, I don't know what the attorney was told, but the attorney didn't do his or his homework. Otherwise, he wouldn't be in this situation. And I'm wondering if Mr. Joshua Todd Matthews, why he didn't serve Rodney and do this thing the way it's supposed to be done. And the judge involved, Judge Thesis, it appears that she has conflict of interest. And we'll get to that in a minute. So let's just take a look at Mr. Joshua Matthews. I wonder if he's told the people that he helped get a divorce that there's an easier process that costs a lot less money. As a matter of fact, you could do it yourself. And you don't have to pay him shit. I'm just saying. I wonder if he told you that. Oh, wait, the judge has to sign it. Yeah, that's in their conventional program, the one that they structured in their head for their shit. That's how that goes. No, the judge don't have to sign nothing until you answer to their thing or you sue them for bringing it in the first place. And we couldn't answer, Ronnie couldn't answer because they didn't serve him. They just told him, dude, you got court in the morning. I know what happens. I've been doing this for a minute. I don't usually do family stuff, but I do stuff for my family. Bam, so here we are. So what happens is they just, they tell you the night before, you'll get an email from the judge's assistant, and then it says you got a hearing in the morning at 10 o'clock. So now you're rushing around. Oh, they just do the Zoom hearing now, so most people have your phone with you, so even if you're at work, you can go in the bathroom. Oh, yeah. So you tell the judge, look, judge, I haven't been served or whatever. This is ridiculous. And the judge says, well, now you know about you've been served. You got 21. Or maybe they do like they did in Ronnie's case, dismiss the first one or the hearing. Okay, but then they come back with another hearing. So what we did for the second hearing was he just went ahead and filed his lawsuit against them for the 5.5. We just did a counterclaim and see if they go sit down and leave them alone, because we ain't trying to have to do all this. But, but we're willing to do whatever it takes. So he filed a lawsuit for $5.5 million yesterday morning before the hearing. And he also filed a demand to strike. The judge is in violation of federal law. The judge is not registered with FAR, and neither is the attorney, Mr. Joshua Matthews. So we're going to be filing a document to strike his divorce crap because he's not registered either. And they're both violating the Tucker's Act. So the Tucker's Act is a federal law that brings criminal liability to government players working under color of law. That's what she thinks she's doing when they violate your due process or you fit them in. And so that's part of our lawsuit too. So we learned how to bring criminal liability to the gate before we get to the 42 USC 1983 stuff. So that's what that lawsuit got filed yesterday morning. We haven't served everybody because they're rushing us around. Oh, but so we did. We'll get the people served. We'll get them served. I'm Ronnie's foster dad, so I'm kind of like, heading up the legal team here. And so where we are now is that he filed the lawsuit against the judge, against the state, against Mr. Matthews and his lying, cheating act. And they still want to have the hearing and want to talk some trash in the hearing that everything that he filed was rubbish because it wasn't signed by a judge. Well, okay, so here's the thing from where I'm sitting. Their 14 days is up to respond to the counterclaim. So we're just going to file demand for summary judgment. And of course, since the judge is we added judge to their own stuff as a plaintiff and the attorney, and you can do that. There's no difference between adding the plaintiff onto the plaintiff's stuff than there is adding defendant onto anybody's stuff. So we've done that. And so now we're going to add Mr. Matthews to the demand to strike because he is not registered with FARA, the Foreign Agent Registration Act, and we're going to move everything over to federal court. Yeah, I've done this before in 2017 with 3 $10 seatbelt tickets. Because here's the thing: when we're bringing some action against the judge for her failure to be impartial, for her failure to follow the Constitution, the one that she took an oath to uphold, and federal law. I don't worry about state statutes because state statutes they're not valid laws. They're not valid laws because they don't have enacting clauses, they don't have titles, and they don't have a body. Those are the 3 things that the Constitution says must have or something to be a valid law. Without those 3 things, it's a policy. A corporate policy. I'm just saying. So that's where we're at. Mr. Joshua Matthews made a comment on the phone. He didn't know who I was. Some pros say something. No, dude, your ass know who I am. I've been communicating with your website. I'm pretty sure you know who I am. And so I'm the person in charge of this young man's legal team. He's a working young man. He don't have time to put up with your shenanigans. And I'm sure that's why you guys are doing this, because he don't have time. But I do. I got some extra time. I make time for the kids. That's how I roll. So let's move on. Now, so what jurisdiction? How does the judge have jurisdiction in family court? So, family court operates from a different doctrine. I got it saved someplace or whatever, but it takes a while. They don't really want to pull that up and show you that right out the gate when you first start looking into this. But, we don't need to. We just kind of look at this. And so right here it says the jurisdiction depends on several factors. Okay. Now, what is jurisdiction in family law? Jurisdiction refers to the court that has power to hear and decide your family law cases. Personal jurisdiction refers to the court's power over you or other parties. Subject matter jurisdiction means the court has the power to hear your legal issues for family law matters. Oh, why does it have to say family law matters? Okay, so how do courts decide jurisdiction? People often live much more mobile lives in their past than in the. So what the hell has this got to do with jurisdiction? You may have moved from state to school or whatever. You find lower cost of living, move closer to family. See, this is when we don't just start out talking about what we need to be talking about. It's pretty much bullshit. So I'm just going to tell you that. I've been doing this for a minute. Okay, on a fresh start or whatever, the new state, you fall under the new state law. So that's the only thing said about law. If you move to a new state, you fall under new state laws. Okay, that's not absolutely true, because if the child was born in another state, that's pretty much where, I don't do family, but I do family. I don't do, okay. So, so if you have a family law dispute where you can live to determine that family court, where you live can determine what family court has jurisdiction. So I didn't realize it was where you lived. I thought you had to have injured party or it had to be damaged property. Okay, let's just keep it simple. Oh, so family court jurisdiction can depend on where the parties live or are physically present or location of property or assets. For example, you may file for divorce in a different state depending on your situation. Let's see, no. Let's maybe, okay, what state has jurisdiction? Oh, now we switched over to what state has jurisdiction, and they didn't really say how this court has jurisdiction or what statute they use to take jurisdiction. Oh, now down in the bottom, there's another little act that they use for the kids to get control of your kids. But no, it don't talk about the jurisdiction. And I've been over this already and looking all around on it, so I'm not going to waste a whole bunch of time on this. And the Uniform Child Custody Jurisdiction Act. So this is one way they try to say they have control. There's another doctrine that family court uses. I remember in my head about reading about it, but I don't remember what it was, that they use on the jurisdiction thing. But it's ridiculous because jurisdiction, okay, they have subject matter, they have everything just because I live, a block from, no, that don't make no sense to me. Okay, that does not make any sense to me. So let's look at something else. Maybe this will make more sense. Oh, that's what we looked at already. Oh, we ain't making no sense now. So, you guys kind of get a little look at that. I still haven't figured out how they think they have jurisdiction, especially after there was a counterclaim filed in the case, a demand to strike because the judge is in violation of federal laws. And then there was a lawsuit filed against the players. And, they haven't been served yet, but they were emailing copies of it. Y'all know me. And so they still want to act like, okay, so the attorney said, well, the judge didn't sign off on none of those documents. So none of that stuff's relevant. And you're not going to get out of the divorce case that easy. There's no divorce case. They're not married. We did the same thing the government's going to do after they get done stealing money, all the money out of your bank account. Okay? So, so my question is to I'm not going to call Miss Theses. I'm not going to call you judge, okay? Because I don't see that you've done anything to earn that title in my mind, okay? I'm not going to call you judge. So I'm just going to ask a couple of questions. Are you an administrative judge, or is this are you a judicial judge? Is this an administrative divorce proceedings that requires consent from all parties, or is this a judicial hearing? Criminal. I don't know. I'm just, tell me. Okay, because here's the thing. If it's an administrative hearing, well, you're already in violation of the Tuckers Act. So you have no immunity. And yeah. And with the lawsuit filed against you, even though you haven't been served yet, I'm thinking that you probably need to go sit down. But I don't know. I'm not a bar member. I don't operate in an administrative court because it's all fake and violate people's due process. I'm pretty sure you're not operating from the Constitution or your oath of office that you took to what was filed, the marriage dissolution, does it not require a judge's signature? And if it does, you guys can prove that when we get done with the due process violation that you guys have caused Rodney to suffer by dragging him into administrative court without without legal authority, without anything. Got the word of a cheater that lies and steals. I'm just calling it like it is. Now, the judge, at the end of the hearing, told Ronnie, because Ronnie told him, look, I don't understand why you guys are doing this shit to me, because the marriage was dissolved 3-4 months ago. And the judge's like, oh, well, could you provide us? Oh, hell no. We're not providing you shit. If you want to check, you need to have the attorney go check. His ass should have already checked that shit after the first contact with us. No, we're not providing a damn thing. We already provided you with what you're going to get, and that's the lawsuit in your face. Now, I'm already planning on moving over to federal courts. Y'all can play around all you want to. We just did it this way because now we don't have to pay $400 to get it moved. We can get it moved because judge has conflict of interest once we add the judge to the lawsuit, and no other judge on state level up there can get in the middle of this because they would have conflict too. So, yeah. I'm going to direct our further correspondence to, the regional judge, the supervisor judge, or whatever, because right now, Judge Thesis, you've already stepped on everybody, and we're not going to sit here and let this continue. We're not going to sit around and tell, oh wait, you told him that you had to you told Ronnie that you had to take a look at his paperwork that he filed. Seriously? I hope that don't take too long, because you got to schedule another hearing for, I think you told me the 14th of August. So we're not going to be at that hearing. What y'all need to do is just email that shit to me when you guys are being stupid, and then I'll take care of it, because Ronnie's busy. He don't have time for this shit. He's a working man. Y'all see what he does? He's work hard. Okay, so, yeah, just email to me. I'm already going to move this whole thing over to federal court, but I'm not going to do it until I get done filing our our default judgment. I'll file a default judgment on the counterclaim, because y'all ass have 14 days to respond to that. You have 21 days to respond to the lawsuit that we filed yesterday, and I'm pretty sure you're not going to be able to respond. So I'm just going to put them both into my document that I'm going to use to move all this over to the federal court, so that we won't have to be dealing with these delays and all this stupid shit. And then you guys can figure out what y'all want to do. Now is not a good time to play dumb, Judge. I'm just saying, this shit should have been dismissed a long ass time ago. But you know what? We're not asking. We're going to have to strike some stuff and whatever and do that, but it's up to y'all to tap out and go sit your happy ass down. So that's where we at. That's where I'm at with. So we're going to move forward and get this thing rolling over in the federal court, because I already know how this is going to go. Just like it's going, y'all have stalling and playing dumb. So thank you guys for the value of sharing your time. Stay close. Stay close. You know, make sure you click that bell down there so you get notification when it's time to rock and roll. Because I don't know. Things about to get ugly over here. We're also going to file a temporary restraining order, and we have a temporary restraining order to block the judge from interfering, since we filed a lawsuit against her. And we're also in the temporary restraining order going to block the entire state of Kansas from receiving federal funding. So here's how that goes. The separation clause in the Constitution mandates that if the states violate the state citizens' due process or Fifth Amendment, the state does not qualify for federal funding. And so, yeah, we added all with that, so that's pretty powerful. And I know. So you attorney people think that, the judges, y'all got in my pocket, we got it. But see, in the non-convention program, I'm going to outline to you how this goes, okay? Because it's going to be up to you to make the call. But I'm going to outline to you how it goes. As soon as the judge objects to anything, we're going to sue the judge for $100 million. We're going to sue the judge for $100 million, because the judge is not going to provide a fact of findings and a conclusions of law, which means that you have zero shit for an appeal. And that's because you're in administrative court, and the judge can't provide a fact of findings and a conclusions of law, especially if they're already violated. If they already violated you and hauled your ass into their hearing without even serving you. And then when the judge was informed that the person hadn't been served, the hearing, and then they have the hearing again. The person still hadn't been served. Oh, it ain't hard to serve him. He works a block from the damn courthouse. And I already told him, if they got something to serve you, take it. Because we already got a plan for that shit. So it ain't like he's hiding or dodging, or maybe somebody just lying. I think liars would steal people's meat out of their freezer when they're gone. All of it. And then she wondered why she got to take the ass whooping that she's taking right now. And then the attorney, So, it's in my opinion that the attorney's number one job is to protect it. And so I don't see that happening here. Because we're not going to sit down there. We're not waiting till the 14th of next month for shit, as you guys can see. You guys will get something first thing Monday morning. I'm pretty sure Ronnie will be, I don't know. He's out of town right now. I'm not sure when he's going. Y'all will get something as soon as the man get back to town, because I'll have it ready for you. And, if you have any ideas about how we can work this problem out, y'all just shoot me an email. Thank you. Thank you guys for the value of sharing your time. See you in the next video.